The small town of Pripyat is located in northern Ukraine, and as you probably know, is the location of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, which formerly belonged to the now extinct Soviet Union. And as you probably also know, in 1986 there was a terrible accident in this nuclear plant, resulting in a terrible radioactive disaster that affected almost all of Eastern Europe. One of the measures taken was to evacuate the entire population of Pripyat, leaving the city in the hands of nature. But radioactivity had been taking effect. In fact, the so-called Ground Zero, that is the closest point to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, has become a place where strange things happen, from alleged UFOs to even more horrifying sightings of sinister monsters and mutant animals. Certainly, the Chernobyl nuclear catastrophe has given rise to many legends about ghosts and paranormal beings. All of these stories were nothing more than stories and myths, until one day, a group of ghost hunters decided to enter this nuclear plant and discover what was really happening. With as much safety equipment as possible, they were close to Reactor 4, the same reactor that exploded and generated the nuclear disaster. They carried heat chambers and ultra-sensitive microphones to help them detect any anomalies. Subsequently, terror became visible when, right in the rubble of the plant, they captured with the thermal camera humanoid figures moving aimlessly, not to mention the strange sounds that were recorded. Is Chernobyl, a place where there was so much suffering and so much death, a focus for paranormal activity? Do those who were killed by radiation follow, wandering among the ruins of their forgotten city? Who knows? But one thing is certain. The devices do not lie, and if they recorded something, then there is something there. This event would not be the only strange event to occur in Chernobyl. There is another case in which it is said that there were real zombies prowling the streets of Pripyat. It may be a bit excessive to think of zombies, but let's look at it with a cool mind. Just as the animals that dwell there have been affected by radiation and have mutated, humans can likewise suffer these effects. Who can assure us that some people haven't secretly returned to their city after being evicted? Perhaps these beings are not the zombies seen in movies, thirsty for human flesh, but they could be people whose bodies have been subjected to so much toxicity that they have ended up mutating and taking frightening forms. Today, the famous Chernobyl area is still a mysterious place, and considered by many to be a place where strange things continue to happen. But despite all the stories that revolve around this nuclear plant, there is a rather curious and bizarre case which occurred months before the catastrophe. 5 workers at the nuclear power plant claimed to have seen a huge black bird with red, bright eyes lurking in this area. It could be implausible if only they had seen it, but it turns out that many Pripyat residents claim to have seen the same thing. The sighting was accompanied by terrible nightmares and anonymous, threatening calls. Shortly after these unusual events, the well-known Chernobyl disaster occurred. Was there any connection? Many think so, because the mysterious one resembled the Mothman, a monster that supposedly roams the state of Virginia in the US. And it turns out that when this being decides to be seen, it only brings fatal events. Chernobyl hides spooky surprises. Many of them can be explained by the amount of radiation, but others can only be catalogued as paranormal. What do you think of Chernobyl creatures? Are there monstrous animals hovering between the forests and the ruins of Pripyat? Everything seems to indicate that there may be. What did you think of the video? If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow me on my Facebook page. There, we are uploading exclusive content and a lot of interesting data. See you next time.